Len in Cedarhurst, New York. Hey, Len.
Hi, Tom.
Hey.
I've been listening to the rants and watching the news, and your concern about how to talk to people and not tell them that they are suckers.
Right.
Is something that's important. And after the last week between, another banking scandal where no one goes to jail and
no one even gets seriously investigated.
Huh?
Pardon my interrupting you. No individuals even got seriously investigated. It was just the corporation.
They know what happened.
Yeah.
And the TPP, but, even more deeply wounding me. I mean, he was talking yesterday in front of the Coast Guard, talking about climate change being a serious threat. And at the same time, they give Shell the right to go drill in the Arctic.
Right.
After, I would say, this was probably the worst week that I've had since President Obama, just in my gut, since President Obama was inaugurated.
So now's the time. Now's the time to organize, Len. Now is the time to go. Now is the time to go.
What I was going to say.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. What I was going to say is it's no longer time to tell people that you're a sucker. It's time to talk in a we. We've been played.
Yes.
We've all been played.
Yes.
And and we've got to go. And, when I hopefully get to talk to Bernie soon, I'm going to say, look, you have to put out a feeler. Give people the idea that if you're nominated, on the short list is Elizabeth Warren. That'll get enough attention. I mean, right now, my son needed a quote for commitment, and I gave him Gandhi's. First, they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win.
Right.
And we've got to go from the ignore to the laugh stage.
Yeah. And here's, if Bernie would pick Elizabeth Warren as his vice presidential candidate, if he became the Democratic nominee, they couldn't be stopped. I really and truly believe that they would win the election.
Feeler out.
Pardon?
He's got to put that feeler out. Because nobody's going to ask.
Well,
would you run with Bernie Sanders?
Right. It's really too early for that. But the point is that there are a few politicians in America where the voters get it. I mean, Sherrod Brown had something like $40 million thrown against him in Ohio by the Republicans, yet he won. Bernie Sanders had a billionaire come in from out of state into Vermont and spend $100 a vote trying to beat Bernie. And Bernie did not run one single television ad. Not only did he not run no negative ads, he didn't run one single television ad, and he beat this billionaire 2-1. Why? Because the people in Vermont know that Bernie is a truth teller. He's absolutely consistent and absolutely truthful. The same is true of Elizabeth Warren. The same is true of Sherrod Brown. The same is true of Jan Schakowsky. The same is true of Raul Grijalva. The same is true of Keith Ellison. The same is true of Mark Pocan. There are a bunch of good people who deserve our support. And the problem is that increasingly, they are being overwhelmed. You got these corporate Dems. I mean, I let me just publicly invite right now any of the Democratic senators who voted to grease the skids for TPP by voting for this trade authority today, who voted for Fast Track. Thanks, Len, for the call. Any of you are welcome to come on my program. I will not mistreat you. Tell your story.